Before I had anything to do with training dogs, I was in photography. And I had a boat because I photographed sailboat races, and the name of the boat was HAWKEYE. And that name came from this camera right here. It says Brownie HAWKEYE, and that's where that name originated. And I became very interested in photography and made a living in photography, and today this camera isn't gonna do much. Now we use cameras like this that are very, very sophisticated, and we have a lot of control. This camera here, you press a button and whatever you got was what you got. This, you can tell it exactly what you want it to do and make it behave like you want. So a couple of years ago on my dog training blog, at the end we started putting spiritual messages connected to photographs that I've taken in various places, and it's become really important to me, and it's really the part of each message that I'm looking forward to the most is the gospel connected to a photograph. And so over a period of time, we've sort of had some favorites, some pictures that are really ones we like the most. And what we've done is we've taken a number of them and made them into cards like this. And so this is sort of an announcement that these cards are going to be available on my website, billhillmann.net. And if you go over to the column on the left, it'll say Image by God, and that's where these, if you click on that, you'll see what these pictures are like. So that's just a little notification of what's a very important thing to us here, is the spiritual messages connected to photographs of God's wonder. What some people have done, they've taken the cards and they've taken them apart and framed the picture and the spiritual message and put them in a frame together, one above the other, and we have an example here for you. So that's something that you can do. So anyway, if that has any interest to you, billhillmann.net, go to Image by God, it'll be right there. So now what I'd like to do is show you my idea of how to get a young dog started in doubles. You know, one of the things that I think is really important, and I'm going to dwell on, I've been dwelling on it for years, and that is throwing marks by yourself. And now Queenie's got herself up to 7 months old. And come here, Queenie. Here, kennel. Good. Sit. So this would be something I would do that would be a beginning double, and how you use a beginning double, incorporating going back to home plate. So the first thing you do is go back to home plate. I just walked her out there. Then you walk into position and get ready to throw your marks. I'm going to throw 2 marks. When you do a single, boom, like this, sit. Back. Good. Atta girl, good. Hold.
heel, sit, out, kennel, sit, good girl, okay, sit. But then you say, well, I want to start doing multiples. How do I do that? So once they get the idea of going back to home plate, you really are stuck with doing singles if you're sending the dog from the field. On the other hand, you can do a double by throwing one like this, sit, one like this, sit, sit. It's just an example. It's not a big deal, but it's just a way to get started with multiple marks where you're the only person that showed up for training. So you're on your own. I usually take them out of the crate. Here, Queenie. Heel. Sit. Ready. Sit. Back. Good. Okay, good girl, good girl. Heel. Sit. Where could it be? Ready? Back. Good. Hey, now you're talking. Very good. All right. Hold. Heel. Sit. Out. So that's an example of how you would begin multiple marks with a young dog, and you want to do it by yourself. So once they're going back to home plate, you can do the singles and send them from the field. They pick it up, bring it back to you, they go back to home plate. I'll just do that one time just as a review. As a single, kennel, sit. So as a single, if you're only doing singles, it would be sit, back, good. They bring it over to you, good girl, atta girl, good. Here, sit, sit, out, heel, sit, kennel, sit, oh for heaven's sakes, kennel, 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 sit, kennel, sit. I should nail that thing down. So as a single, that's all you need to do. As a multiple, you throw two birds, but then you have to go back to home plate and send them for the multiple. So that's kind of a little beginning version of back to home plate and how you begin doing doubles out of that kind of a setup.